So dear friends, welcome back to Data Analytics Talks. So when I demonstrated the lookup transformation in my previous video, I got a couple of comments to explain the difference between connected lookup and unconnected lookup. So I would like to tell you that whatever we have demonstrated is a connected lookup. And one of the important feature of a connected lookup is there is a connection between the source and destination. There is an input port as well as an output port. And in our case, we had the list of countries with a region ID. We did not have the region name in our countries table. For that, we had another table called regions with the region ID and region name. So we used region as a lookup and we matched the region ID in the countries table and the region table, and we got the region name and we associated the region name into the target table countries region. So this is a kind of lookup. It is named as a connected lookup in Informatica. And one of the most important feature is that it is always connected and it has a input port and output port, and even it can have multiple columns, as looked up from the table. So let me go to the theory part. So in Informatica, there are two types of lookups. They can be used in mapping. So it is a connected lookup and disconnected lookup. So both are used to look up data in relational table, view, or synonym based on a given input, but they differ in how they are used within the mapping. So if you look at the connected lookup, so a connected lookup is part of the data flow and is connected directly to the other transformation in the mapping. It receives input directly from the pipeline and sends output to the next transformation. It can return multiple columns from the same row or insert the lookup result into the pipeline. Support both dynamic and static caching. Dynamic caching allows for the cache to be updated during the session run. It can be used to perform both equality and range lookups. It can impact performance as it is part of the main data flow and process data row by row. Okay, so if you look at an example, we have the source table, which is nothing but employee table. The employee table has columns: employee ID, name, last name, email, phone number, hire date, job ID, salary, commission percentage, manager ID, and department ID. So note that we don't have a department name in the employee table. So what we do, we have another table called a department table. And the department table, we have a department ID, department name, manager ID, and location ID. So the easiest way is to look up department name from this department table. And we have a destination table, a target table, which is the EMB department, which we have all the fields from the employee table as well as one new field for department name. So in our case, we will have a mapping. In the mapping, we have the source and we have a lookup transformation where we look up the department ID and the department ID of the lookup table, then get the department name, and we use that department name as an association to the employee department. In fact, that is the same thing that we have done in our previous example, where we have countries, we have the region ID, and we have looked up the region name from the lookup transformation, where is a direct connected from the source, and it is connected to the destination. It has input and output. If we had another columns also, we can, based on this matching, we can connect to the target table. Okay. Then coming back, what is a disconnected lookup? Let's come to understand disconnected lookup. A disconnected lookup is not directly connected to the main data flow. Instead, it is invoked as a function from another transformation like an expression or an update strategy transformation. I will show you with an example. So in our case, we have an employee table. We have the target table where we have the employee details plus the department name. But unlike our connected transformation, here we have a lookup table. The lookup table, we will look up to the department, but we are not going to have a direct connection from the employee to the department. Instead, we will have a transformation which will return the department name. This works as a function. Right? This is nowhere connected to the flow. What will happen is we will bring an expression transformation. It is an expression transformation. Okay. And we will have association with all the columns to the expression transformation. And what will happen? The expression transformation will invoke the function that is in a lookup transformation, which is not connected in the flow. And this will return the name of the department. And this expression will send the name of the department to the target. Isn't it? So in the flow, this lookup is nowhere connected. It is just an invocation from the expression transformation. That is the major difference between these two transformations. So in our connected transformation, we say that it is connected to the flow, whereas in the disconnected, it is just a function being called from another transformation, which could be expression transformation or update strategy transformation. Okay, so what are the other features of this one? So what are the features? It is used when the lookup function is reusable and needs to be called multiple times in a mapping. That is the first. Secondly, it can return only one column value for each lookup call. Okay, this particular function can return only one value, but whereas the connected lookup can return multiple columns. Then it supports only state caching, and meaning the cache cannot be updated during the session run. But the connected lookup can update the caching during the run as well. Then typically used for simple equality lookup. But I already mentioned, like for the connected, it is supporting both equality and range lookup. Okay. Then can improve performance by reducing the complexity of the data flow by being reusable across different transformation. This is another important feature. Choosing between the connected and disconnected lookup often depends on the specific requirement of the mapping, such as the need for multiple output columns, the frequency of lookup calls, and impact on performance. So I hope now you understand the difference between connected lookup and disconnected lookup. Of course, we have already demonstrated a connected lookup. So we have already had a connected lookup demonstration. So please check out this video to understand the connected lookup implementation. I will come with another video with a disconnected lookup. So thank you for watching. Thank you for asking question too.